So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to make $1,000 after expenses selling final expense on a part-time. If you're inquiring about a career in selling final expense and you're wanting to do it part-time and want to know what the numbers are behind the business, this is going to be a great opportunity. I'm actually going to walk you through some of the numbers of the business so that you can get a better handle on what you could expect if you decide to start this business on a part-time basis. And I have the pleasure of having a co-host here with me. And it is my daughter. She's got the pen out and she's ready to write numbers down. Say hello, Ella.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, so you might hear a little bit from her on her perspective of selling final expense part-time. So anyways, thanks for being here. My name is David Duford, owner of DeFord Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense, Medicare, and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. Uh-oh, don't click on that. And thank you so much for being here. If you like this content, subscribe and like the video. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. So let's talk right away. What is the possibilities and what is the numbers behind making $1,000 a week after expenses selling final expense on a part-time basis? So first of all, let me just kind of let y'all understand, is this possible? Well, absolutely. And I can tell you this because not just once, but twice, I've been selling final expense on a part-time basis. I first started part-time selling final expense while I had a personal training business back in 2011. I did it for 6 months before going full-time in the final expense. Then I failed the business about 12 months in and then got back into final expense on a part-time basis for a full year while I sold full-time for another company. So I've done it twice. I've done very well both time on a part-time basis. And so I know exactly kind of what to expect. So let's just jump right in and look at some numbers here. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple here, and so simple that we're going to use plain old Microsoft Microsoft Paint to demonstrate exactly the numbers behind the business. And I'm going to do everybody a favor here and just use, let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're just going to use Paint here, and I'm going to type out the numbers. So the things that you got to be concerned about with, again, getting $1,000 free and clear, of course, is what your revenue is. All right? And, again, bear with me. It's all happening live on the spot here. Your revenue, of course, is your commission. Okay? This is the money that you make on every single sale. We're going to talk more about commission in a minute, and what commission levels I would consider as just guide the business as a good starting commission level for a new agent. You also have expenses, right? So expenses are usually, in most cases, your lead cost. Maybe about 90% or more of your lead costs are going to be your expenses. Your totality of expenses are going to be lead costs. Okay, then of course, revenue minus expenses is what? It's your net profit. This is the number I'm talking about. This is, of course, before taxes. This is before, any other extraneous expense. But the main thing we want to know is how can we get to $1,000? The goal being, again, $1,000 a week. All right. So how do we do that in the business? So first of all, I think the first thing here, I'll get back on camera here and talk a little bit. I think the first thing that's important is we want to make sure that we have a revenue potential high enough to give us the best chances of success. So the first thing that I would suggest is if you're looking for a final expense agency to join, you got to make sure that you've got the highest level of commissions that you can, along obviously with the training. And sometimes there's a slight trade-off for really good training and a slightly lower commission level, but it shouldn't be so substantially lower that the idea of reaching this number is so far out of whack. And the problem is a lot of these organizations out here, guys, like they're designed to shortchange you. They tell you how great their contract is, and they give you a number. But when you actually look at the comp grid, guess what? The ones you'll end up using are 30 points, even 40% percentage points lower. And it's just a real shame and not the truth. So you want to make sure you vet the commission levels of what it is that exactly you're going to be writing as far as carriers go. No, don't lose your book. She's writing and coloring here with me. Oh, watch your head. Uh-oh, hope they don't cry. There we go. So we got what's good, what would be considered a good commission level. I would say somewhere between starting for the vast majority of your carriers. Thank you, this goes in my ear. Somewhere between 100% and 110%, okay? Now, your guaranteed issue carriers are probably going to be somewhere between 60 and 70%, but that's not going to represent more than 25% of your business. All right. And again, we'll build into this in just a minute. Now, your expenses are probably going to range on a part-time basis if you're set up to maximize your compensation between $300 and maybe about $600 a week. It just depends. Are you working aged leads? Are you working digital leads? Are you working direct mail leads? Okay, there's a lot of variables. I'm going to give you an example here in a minute. So let's say that you are working, again, what I try to ideally set my agents up with is a situation where they have direct mail leads, fresh, exclusive direct mail leads. Those are king in the business. And to get direct mail leads, you're probably going to be around 15 leads a week. So 15 leads times... Let's do the math because I'm no good at math. 15 times 32 is $480 a week. So that's going to be your estimate expenses here, okay? $480 a week. And again, if you're doing telesales, you might be doing digital leads. It's going to be somewhere close to this. Your commission average, some are going to be higher than 100%. Some are going to be lower. So let's just say for the sake of math, around an average of 100%, okay? So on 15 leads a week, I would want you to write 3 to 4 policies, okay? So let's just say 3.5, all right? So some weeks 4, some weeks 3. And your average case size, if you follow my system, is going to be 800 in premium, okay? We have a system to drive up your average case size higher without having the client freak out and not be able to spend it. So 3.5 times 800 is going to be 8, 16, 24, so 2,800 in premium, all right? So 100% times 2,800 in premium is $2,800, right? Now, you don't get all 2,800 up front. This is, you get an advanced of commission. And it's probably, on most cases, going to be 75%, okay? But you'll have some that pay as earned. Some have 50%. So I'm just going to say you're going to get, on average, 60% of this total dollar amount, okay? So what 60% is times 60%? Times 2,800 is 1,680. All right. So this is cash flow commission. Okay. You're not getting, and let me get back on camera here and explain this to you a little bit better. You're not just getting 1,680. Okay. If you look at 1,680 and you subtract out the 2,800, you're really going to end up with a little bit more than that, right? Because you didn't get the other 40% estimate up front. So that will trickle in the coming months, especially months 10, 11, 12. But for the sake of argument here, what really matters is cash flow, which means your advance cash flow rate. That's what's going to determine if this business is lucrative for you in the beginning, because you got to pay your bills, right? If your goal is to make $1,000, you want it now, not a year from now, right? So understand this is just the beginning of what you'll eventually get more of later. And back to the screen here, of course, it gets better here, as you can tell. 1,680 minus 480 gives you an expense of $1,200 of, a net income of $1,200, which is pretty good. Now, of course, there's going to be some chargebacks in here, so I would account for somewhere a couple hundred extra per week going to be a chargeback. So you're really sitting right at that $1,000 a week goal, just off of a 15 direct mail lead week investment. So again, what I look at this here, guys, is for an expense of $480, you're looking at somewhere around a investment of, bye, honey, see you later. You going? Pull. Or are you stuck in here with me? You got it. Pull hard. There you go. See you later. Love you. Bye. So we try to work here at home with all the kids here to understand what dad does, to whatever extent they understand. So sorry for the distraction. So what I was saying here is that the real metric I'm concerned with on part-time or full-time basis is return on investment. If you're going to put $480 a week, what can you expect back in return? And what this comes out to, the goal is to return somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 1 to 3 to 1. And in this example, $480 turns into $1,000 free and clear if we extract approximately $200 for chargebacks. That's a good return. That means you put in $480 into a money machine, and it spit back an extra $1,000 on top of your $480 investment back to you. So you cleared free and clear. You returned on your investment $1,000 on that 480 investment. So it's double your money, okay? Plus your money back that you put the investment down. That is the goal return on investment to be in this business. And if you can do that consistently, which is very possible with this setup, if you have the right training, you have the right commission setups, you can absolutely hit $1,000 a week. And that's just cash flow advance, guys, not to mention what comes in later as those residuals come back in and the unearned commissions start to build up. It gets even better. So again, I hope this gives you an idea of what's possible. There's a lot of variables here we didn't cover, but I wanted to have enough to just show you on the screen here what the possibility is. This is a lucrative business. Okay. Yeah. What's your conversion rate on setting appointments, running appointments, closing appointments, etc. These are things that with good training, we're going to work to help you get refined and do better. This is why you want to have access to an agency that's going to develop your sales skill set over the, Kool-Aid drinking MLM recruitment stuff that you so commonly see. And guys, this is the stuff that I teach my agents every single week. This is really important to help you understand what your numbers are and how to improve them over time. And then, of course, get the training to actually take this theory that's on paper and put it into reality. And again, I've done it multiple times personally. I've recruited 2,000, 2,500 agents at this point, many of which who started part-time, and I can teach you to do the same. If you'd like to learn more about how that works, it's very simple. There's links above or below somewhere here that's going to take you to my website and give you an overview of how working my agency works. Whether you want to do this, by the way, final expense, face-to-face, or telesales, this strategy absolutely works the same. The numbers of leads might be a little bit different, conversion rates, etc. if you do, say, digital leads instead of direct mail leads. But the practice of this, the application, the ROI potential is absolutely the same. So check my website out if you'd like to learn more about joining my agency. Thank you so much for watching, as always, and we'll see you next time.